This is Aaron Squire coming to you, and I just kind of wanted to spend some time and show you how I make my videos. It's not going to take too long. Basically, I just use Windows Movie Maker and do some editing there. So I'm just going to take you through my process real quick. If anybody was interested to make movies or make their videos similar to the ones that I do for my Hex video. So first of all, what I do is I come in here and I use XSplit, and I come in here and I make sure I'm doing a local recording. Once I've done that, I go into my documents, and under there you should see videos, XSplit recordings, and then you should see your local recordings, and you can see it actually XSplit. What they do is they title it and they give you the date on it, so that way you can kind of keep track if you're doing multiple recordings. Always remember to do your local recordings, and it'll store it on your local hard drive, because if you're piping it out to something like Twitch TV, then you might have some problems. You might run into some problems there. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open up Movie Maker. Windows Movie Maker, this is free, comes with Windows. If you don't have it, you should be able to download it. And then you can go again to where we just were, and go to document, actually videos, XSplit recordings. You can do this by either doing it this way, or you can do add videos or photos, and then you can actually add any videos and do anything with it, which is pretty neat. So I'm going to pull out this one that I titled Raw Data, and you'll notice it says Movie Maker is preparing your files. Movie Maker prepares files, makes it easier to edit. Please wait depending on the number of file size of the project. This is a pretty large file. This one is 524 megabytes, about 44 minutes long, so it'll take probably about 30 minutes to load up. Don't worry, because I'm going to go ahead and edit this video, and so you won't have to worry about that. But while we're waiting for that to happen, we're going to add two more things. I'm going to go ahead and add my pre-made intro to it. So I've got multiple different intros, and so I'll just use my basic intro, and then if I take this and I drag this in front of the intro, then you'll see it moves right to the front there. I'm going to go ahead and click on all this data that we just had there, and then I'm going to also add in the end credits too that I have already made up, and you'll see that that snaps to the end there. And so that is the basics of the first part, and I'll be back after it is that all these items load up with the rest of this tutorial. Alright, and I'm back now. Now that we have our video completely loaded, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to save it off. We're going to save it off as a project. Come over here and save project. This is really important because we're working with Windows, and it has a tendency to crash sometimes when you're trying to work with the video. So you should always save your whole project first, so that way you'll have ease of recovery, so you won't have to do the steps where you're loading up your entire video all over again. So I just replace a file over and over again is what I do, because after I'm done with this, I'm going to render the whole thing out anyways and make a new video. So I just say I have a Hex TCG Games, which is what we recorded, and I just replace it. No problems there. Just like my friend always says, Jesus saves, and so should you. Moving on here, we're going to look at some of the video footage, and we need to get to where it is that the games are going to start. So this is obviously some deck building. I just kind of move through here until I get to where the game is. I'm actually like talking about the deck, I believe, first, so I might... No, I don't think I'm going to do anything with that, because I think that was just some random stuff. Let's see here. Is this versus a player or versus AI? So now I can do it. I can hit the play button here. I can actually listen and see what's going on here. Okay, here we go. I think this was versus a player. Oh boy. He's playing at tempo. So I know that that's a real game and not me practicing against the AI, because I remember it. So I'm going to go ahead and rewind it to right before the coin flip, right about here where the time is. And then I'm going to right click and say split, and just delete out the opening portion. We'll just remove that. So there we go. And then I'm just going to skip through my footage,
look for where it is that the game ends. I think this is just 2 quick games here. I think I lost both of them. Yeah, there we go. There's a defeat there. So we'll just rewind it there, and we'll just kind of get to where the defeat is up. Go back to the main screen. Oops. Go back to the main screen.
We lost. We're going to try again, though. Okay? Try again.
Okay, we'll just pause it right there. We'll do the same thing. We're going to split it right here. And just to cut out additional like unnecessary footage, that's what I'm doing right now. So because I'm playing the same game again, but just get it right before the coin flip, go ahead and split it again. And we're going to delete that central part there. Go to the end of this game. Huh. Well, that's kind of funny. I think apparently
What?
I don't
Why
have
did I
all of
skip
my
main?
footage.
I didn't get an attack phase. Oh, wait. Oh, because this guy is pacified anyway. So, yeah, this looks like good games here. I'm 3 turns away from death. That was all I did by playing that burn to the ground.
Apparently my
He's got
cat-
so much card draw that...
So, there's actually missing footage here is what I'm seeing, which is unfortunate. I didn't not know that that was there that way, but we will go ahead and finish out the video anyways. So yeah, this was 2 losses, so I'll just put that in the comments, I think, is what I'm going to do. My cat, of course, is going nuts here as I'm trying to do this tutorial. So we'll just finish out with what we're going to do for our transitions and stuff. So another thing you're going to want to do is if you have music and other stuff, you want to do some sort of equalizing of the sound to make sure that it's somewhat consistent throughout your presentation. So I know that, for instance, that this opening thing is decently good, like as far as the sound quality or the sound volume. It's about there, and then if I come over here, it's about the same, and that's fine.
Okay, here we go.
So I come all the way down here, and I believe that the sound at the very end credits is a little bit
That was all I
louder.
did by playing that burn to the ground. He's got so much card draw that...
Yeah, see, so that's a little bit too loud for me. So what I'm going to do is if I double click on it, it'll come up with it'll automatically go to the edit section, and I go to the volume, the basic volume, and I just turn it down. And this can take some play, so you're going to want to play with it back and forth and just listen to what's going on exactly. Another thing you're going to want to do with every section is you're going to want to fade in sound and fade out. On the end section, I found for me what works best is because I didn't actually fade the music in when I designed it. What I do is I do a medium fade in, which this is the amount of time it takes for the sound to fade in, and then I do a slow fade out on this particular music, which will slowly fade out, so over a large amount of time at the very end. But dialogue sections, I find that it's best to simply fade them in and out quickly. So this is actually talking about this main dialogue section from here to here. So I'm going to go ahead and fade it in fast, and then at the very end I will fade it in fast, fade it out fast as well. So that you'll hear that instead of
okay, try again.
being abrupt,
We're not all done. We got 3
It'll
games. That
kind
was
of
1
like-
game. Okay.
fade in, fade out. So we also need to do that with this section as well. So we're going to go and do a fast fade in and a fast fade out. I don't need to do that with this section because it's basically quiet at the very end of this, so it'll just fade in right there, just like that. Another thing I like to do is, you don't have to do this, but you can do transitions. So at the very beginning, if you, again, we're going to go to this clip, so we'll double click on this clip, and then you go over to animations. And there's all these different transitions, and you'll kind of see that they have them. As you're clicking on them, it'll kind of show them to you what's going on. One of the ones I particularly like to start off with is because my intro has kind of a rain sound to it, is this one. So we can actually play it through here, and you'll see it's raining, and it's kind of like raindrops. It's hard to see because the screen is so dark, but
Okay,
that's
here
the
we
one I
go.
typically like to use there. And then when I go from one screen to another, the transition I like to use right here is the one where it turns the screen around, and then so I like to use this one. But there's a lot of different transitions you could use, so you don't feel like you're just pigeonholed into the ones that I use. Another one I like to use is this one that breaks up the screen and makes it go off to the right or go to the left. It depends on what I really feel like doing. So you can see that right here
by playing that burn to the ground. He's got so much card draw.
So I'm gonna have to check the footage again on this, but just to finish things out, we've got our thing done. You can play it through to see if you like it, see if there's any other cuts you can make. It's best to cut your stuff down and make it as focused as possible. This is 36 minutes of footage. So what I could have done also is made this into 2 games instead of making it just I could have made this into 2 videos instead of just 1 video with 2 games in it. So that would have cut down the footage, which would get you more views, and then you just put them into some sort of a list. So it depends on what you want to do with your video. But to finish things out, we're going to come over here, and I'm going to do publish movie, or not publish movie, I'm sorry. I'm going to do save movie for high definition display. I will go ahead and save it as, I'm going to say tournament round 5. And so what I did was, to save time, I just clicked on a name I already had, because all I was going to do is change the number. This was a tournament round that I did, and it's going to give me an error as soon as I try to save it, or maybe sometimes it won't. I guess it won't this time, and it's going to go ahead and save the movie off, and then after that's done, it's high definition, and I can upload it to YouTube or just watch it on my computer or do whatever I need to do. So I hope that this helped some of the people out there that are trying to also make videos for themselves. Until next time, this is Aaron Squires signing off, saying God bless you and your families, and try not to rage too much out there.